Can a Scrum Master be a delivery manager?
Definite no.
Yes, hell yeah. As a delivery manager, what's your framework?
It's change for change's sake, and it's change for disruption.
Nobody really cares how, they just want their stuff.
Just because you don't like something doesn't mean when you change it to something else, it's got any better.
Welcome back. Hello, my name is Steve Trapps.
And I'm Andy Hiles.
And Andy, what are we talking about today?
So today we are talking about, the question that was posed was, can a Scrum Master be a delivery manager? And then discuss.
Yes. Well, they can. They can be. But they'll be missing out on certain things. And also, what does it mean when you're a delivery manager? Because to me, a delivery manager, well, actually scratch that, rewind a little bit. A Scrum Master, if you're a Scrum Master, you're using Scrum as your framework of delivery. Okay. So as a delivery manager, what's your framework? How do you help teams to deliver? And I've worked in various different organizations where they create their own delivery process. Most of it tends to either be very highly influenced by Scrum, but they don't do certain things. Or they've smashed together some sort of software delivery lifecycle together with bits of Kanban and a bit of this and a bit of the other. And then the delivery manager role sits kind of within there. And there's always a page in the wiki, like this is what the delivery manager is accountable for. And for me, it always seems to be some sort of hybrid role between a product owner from a Scrum point of view and the things a Scrum Master would be doing. Andy, have you seen that?
So what's kind of interesting is what we don't know about this is, are organizations continuing to do Scrum? Right. Are we going to go into a kind of a realm where we had a lot of organizations not doing safe and doing safe-like stuff? And we've had a long time of Scrum-like stuff, and some organizations doing Scrum incredibly well. So, but I do wonder whether we're going into more of an era of Scrum-like, as seen on TV Scrum. What's interesting to me is, why couldn't you be a delivery manager with an accountability of a Scrum Master? Because I've done that. I've done that role. I was a delivery manager looking after a couple of Scrum teams. And it was fine. My focus 100% was into the team. The second half of my job was I had a line management responsibility at the same time. And I saw that as an opportunity to be purely a team sport. So if we achieve, we're all good. And I will tell HR when it comes around to the kind of like all the boring, management stuff, I'm going to tell HR we all did a great job until, unless you don't want to do a great job, then I can happily tell them that. But, if you want to do a great job and we want to deliver, I'm going to tell them we all did a great job and let them figure out who they bonus. I think it's a much smarter way in my brain.
Yeah, because you start then seeing some behaviors that maybe if people are incentivized by a bonus, that they maybe don't share so much information, or maybe they're a bit more protective of their domain and their job title and all those kinds of things, not working as a team. If you look at it
as we achieve as a team, therefore we are rewarded as a team, that's a kind of a different thing. But I think we're off the track of, this Scrum, we're in, but we're off the track of the Scrum Master thing. But I think they're 100% related. I think organizations are maybe short-sighting themselves by trying to downplay how good Scrum is at helping a team focus on goals and increments by replacing it with a project management-like structure just to feel like they're going to get results.
But is that because that's what the organization's hearing? Or they're hearing from the people within the teams, we don't really like this, or it doesn't really work for us. We're very special, so we can't do X, Y, and Z. We can't do refinement, or we can't do cross-functional, sharing of information. So therefore, we have to create our own way of doing it. Because Scrum, we say Scrum's a conversational framework, and it will point out issues within your organization, within your team. And if you don't have the appetite or the willingness, appetite, same thing, to actually fix it, nothing's going to change. But yet Scrum still gets that bad rap for, didn't work for us, so we have to create our own. So I'm thinking maybe it's along the lines of the organizations are hearing, and nobody really cares. We say this quite a lot. Nobody really cares how you get their stuff or how they get their stuff. They just want their stuff. So if they can create their own approach, and it's influenced in some parts by Scrum or Kanban and Scrum or something else, does it really matter that the fact that they've created their own?
Well, you could argue both ways, right? So you could take it as a evolution for value delivery for an organization. If they choose to kind of go, we like this, boom, and the crucial thing, and they're succeeding, right? But the only way they know they're succeeding is by measuring, whatever it is they're trying to change, right? Measuring the cause and effect. That's the only way they're going to know they succeed. So yeah, you could say, yeah, okay, it's fine. If you just want to pick some bits and do something else, then fine. But you kind of need to make sure that whatever you do, Scrum, Kanban, or your made up stuff, there are some empirical measures around that just to ensure that you're doing something that is valuable. Otherwise, it's change for change's sake, and it's change for disruption. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean when you change it to something else, it's got any better. Because again, if you're not measuring it, how do you know?
Yeah. You don't, not at all. I'm just thinking, coming back to the actual topic a little bit more, like the fact that the Scrum Master or the delivery manager, being a hybrid of a product owner and a Scrum Master together. I mean, that's useful for organizations that, don't have much money, or don't really understand the benefit. It's all in one person. They go to that person that they trust.
It's funny because I'm not seeing that, and I think this is where lacking empirical evidence from organisations and certainly the motivations for why this change is occurring. I don't think we have that. But what we are seeing is a rise in the requests for product ownership understanding. So I don't think we're seeing a trend where product owners are suddenly being mashed into delivery managers. I don't think I'm seeing that. I think we're certainly seeing Scrum Masters being seen less as a role and more as a, unneeded accountability within an organization. And I think what's quite interesting is it seems to have coincided when 2020 the Scrum Guide changed and they deleted the understanding of roles within Scrum. So they changed their accountabilities, and suddenly the language changed. So we're not talking about organizational hierarchy, organizational job creation here, i.e., a person is assigned a role and your role is Scrum Master, which is how it has formed, to date. It was suddenly, it's an accountability that can be taken by anybody within a team. Therefore, why do we need a role?
Why do we need a specific person doing that? Or do we share it across the team?
Well, why does it have to be a job role within an organization?
Yeah.
And I think that's the challenge. I think that's the challenge that's come back now. One of the arguments I always used to see within organizations, which was, okay, we got these great Scrum Masters. What do we do with them? Right? There's no job. Like in internal grade structure, from HR teams scratching head going, okay, so where do they go? And I know some amazing Scrum Masters who just wanted to be Scrum Masters because they love the job, they love the people, they love what they do, and they're great because they capture empirical evidence. They're great because they are fantastic at understanding teams and people and behaviors and teams working together. And I always found it quite funny, but it's the expectation for organizations to push people further than they want, right? So why, just pay them more, right? If they're great, just pay them more money, right? Reflect it in that. There has tended to be a problem, certainly for Scrum Masters, because there is no kind of progressionary path. It's always been a conversation about a progression path for Scrum Masters, which is why we saw that huge shift to Scrum Masters doing Scrum Mastery for a year and then suddenly becoming Agile coaches because they felt that was their escalation path. Is that a problem? Is that a fault of Scrum? Is that, that's a conversation for a different day. But I think it's certainly part of why organizations have kind of got frustrated with Scrum Master as a role.
So and kind of just want to leave this hanging here. Are we going to see another shift in a few years' time when, for example, if everybody comes as a delivery manager, and there's that organizational hierarchy isn't there for them, senior, whatever, then they're not fixed to a framework? Are we not just going to be seeing the same issue that we've got now, where it evolves?
Actually, I would love, what I want the future to look like. I want all the Scrum Masters who've never done delivery management to go and be delivery managers for the next 2 or 3 years. Scrum slowly make a resurgence as a recognized framework, as it has done. It's dipped and troughed. And then we've got an amazing group of people who are well versed in software delivery and actually have lived, breathed, and understood how software delivery works. And now you're great at Scrum as well.
Brilliant. So our call for you folks that have stayed this far with us, what are you seeing? What are you experiencing? Subscribe to the channels. Thank you for watching. See you next time.